Hey guys, it's Ness here from ESB Horses, and I'm really excited to let you know that the latest version of the ESB Reproduction and Stud Management Manual is now available. And if Siri doesn't keep interrupting, which she seems to do, I'm going to attempt to talk to you via videoing myself, or speaking to you and videoing my computer and my phone and the book all at the same time. Cool, hey? So anyway, the latest edition of the manual is now available in hard copy. It's 15 chapters and 144 pages. It's also animated and digitized and available online. So you can access it through your phone, your laptop or PC. So let me just take you through the book, because it's really targeted at first-time breeders, novice breeders, people that need help just with quick references, or those that are starting to work in the stud sector of the industry. It's a great beginner's guide to the terminology and a basic understanding of starting out with breeding. The contents talk about the breeding considerations, selecting your mare and your stallion and the stud, if you're thinking of doing it yourself. It talks about the anatomy and physiology of the mare and the stallion, so the terminology is not quite so confusing when you're listening to others or talking to vets. At that point, I'd also suggest that this is in no way a replacement to any veterinary advice or professional advice, but I would just like to share with you some of the experiences that I've had from 33 years of breeding over 300 horses and standing 11 stallions. So the contents, going back to the contents, principles of conception, stud records with some charts and record keeping that you can use, artificial control of estrus, common breeding problems, serving the mare, breeding problems, pregnancy, detecting it and maintaining it, pre-foaling checks, which is where I think everybody starts to have heart failure, foaling down, the first, second and third stages, post-foaling and what to look for and make sure that the mare and the foal are okay, and some of the common problems, handling the foal, weaning the foal, and a basic, really brief introduction to genetics. So that's the contents of the book, and as I said, 144 pages with 15 chapters. Lots of images, lots of graphics, and if I could go to where I thought was been, these are the static pages of the mare's estrus cycle. So I've just drawn them to try and explain how the endocrine system works to change the behavior of the mare, which is so critical to achieving and optimizing pregnancy and maintaining pregnancy. So, I mean, this is our ultimate goal, is to be able to have one of these babies delivered as perfectly as this one. So I'll come back to that one. So this is the book, but this is the animated version, which is what I wanted to show you. I'll just go back to this page if I can. Bear with me. Oh, please don't do that phone. There we go. You can fast forward it. There we go. So the animated version walks you through the sequence of events and the physiology, so the processes that take place in the endocrine system, which involves the release of hormones from endocrine glands to work on other parts of the body to result in changes, physical and behavioural changes in the mare that optimize conception for your mare. So it's important that you understand what those hormones are and the terminology that goes along with them, so that when you get to this point, you can get to this point and B, we need to ensure that you've got everything around you to try and help you maximize the opportunities and the benefits and the pleasures that you get from all the hard work that you've gone into and investment that you've gone into producing this amazing baby. So this is me foaling down one of my mares, and while she's doing that, I'll just quickly go back to the page, the book, so that you can potentially think about whether you need to have one. I won't bore you with all the 144 pages. These are some of the stud record charts that I've shared with you, so that you can keep accurate records. Let's go back to foaling, so that, because this is ultimately we want to make sure that you guys have got what it takes to get through this phase, because it is absolutely critical, and time is of an essence to ensure that the foal is well and alive and healthy, and that the mare is as well. It's such a joy, and every time I do this, never ceases to amaze me how incredible this experience is. And I just want to make sure that you guys are all prepared as best as possible to not only reassure yourself, but also make sure the mare and the foal are safe. So going back to the book takes you through all those phases. It talks about covering the mare and some of the images that I've collected along the way to help people, some of the problems that have happened. And then of course when it gets to foaling, the pre-foaling is really important. So critical that you are ready to enjoy this moment by ensuring that you have prepared yourself adequately and are aware of some of the dangers and some of the problems that might occur. So you know that your mare looks like she's in foal, you've spent lots of money and you spent lots of time waiting for this moment. So it's really important that you now have a checklist and are ready and are prepared for the day. So the checklists are all there, the do's and don'ts, some of the advantages and disadvantages that you need to consider with how you foal your mare down, what you need to do, whether you want a foaling alarm, what to look for in the mare, whether she's starting to bag up. Does she just bag up at this point or this point or this point, or is she actually waxing up? So a lot of people at this point might set the alarm for every hour and get up and check, but you know what, guys, you're just going to end up very tired and probably very grumpy. So getting an alarm is critical, and knowing what to look for is also important, because they can start to bag up 6 weeks before they actually foal. Some of these other signs of pitting edema and wax on their legs is also important to be aware of. This is critical and covered with what to look for, and also some of the pictures of perhaps not what you don't want to see, some of the problems, and it talks about some of the issues that you might need to be aware of. So it goes through foaling, and it goes through, all the things that you should be looking for, some of the things that are really normal that some people think are abnormal. Lots of images of me not quite in my pajamas, but you never know. Post foaling, the placenta and all the things that happen after foaling, what you need to check for, and to make sure that there's no retained placenta. And then it goes through the things that you need to look for once the mare's foaled, to ensure that not only the mare but also the foal is looked after, and that you know what you're looking for and checking for. What else? So there's some really valuable information here that hopefully will prevent some heartache and help you guys, reassure you guys. But the other thing that's really critical that I need to emphasize here is that this is not just a book. This is also not only hosted online, but it's part of a Facebook group that you can become part of, and that gives you access to me and I'm just trying to find, commonly used terms was the other thing that I wanted to emphasize. But the Facebook group that you can become part of is a really valuable resource as far as, there you go, that's the front cover again. As far as, let me see if I can get it up. participating in the group and having access to help. Really, this is what it's all about, is providing you with help and reassurance that as you embark on this journey to produce your beautiful babies, for whatever reason, that you're given enough support. And also the other reason for doing this is that if you're thinking of getting work in some studs or on some studs, that you're also familiar with the terminology and some of the procedures and practices that happen when you're working on studs. So whether you're a new time breeder or a job seeker looking to work in the breeding part of the industry, then maybe this book and this group can help you. Happy to be there as a resource and a backup and support you guys so that you can prevent some heartache and learn from some of my mistakes. Feel free to have a look at esbeducation.com. You can email me, you can phone me, you can private message me, you can contact me in lots of different ways, and I'm always happy to be available if you need some help. So just give me a call or a text or an email and I can explain a little bit more. But in the meantime, I hope all goes well with the next breeding season and that you have a beautiful experience and a fantastic foal at the end of it all without too much stress, and make sure that you get lots of sleep as well. Thanks for listening, and I look forward to hearing from you if you need some help. All the best. Bye.